Meneju, winijinwa enyoke enumono. Ye agbiananyo afi apei enyo. Nume enyoke ekpaanu. Na shemo eni shwani na wabwa na numoke bahani. Shemo ene hejinete Facebook ya YouTube. Nyewe nyoko ye MBN 360. Mena adede shi. Dani wababu te sanjam niye. Nyeha wakwa otiye ikume.
Maye nyelo Mahama ewu Ghana bia shiake. Je noko ni abaku se aya IMF ni femo amnendon. Ye shikake jara yeli sajin amniye. Thomas Nyako ampem ewu Africa na mewo investments ke shika sajin bejanotoi amni wale. Ni ye manse sajami mwe amania boy fele fang ake mansolo ewie ake bekebi yi ni bekebi hinto amekabu nae na sumo ake ameya akpabu ni sajale ni sake akwa kojomo mi non
Kewonje shemwe ashishi Mahenye lo John Dramani Mahama ewe ake Ghana IMF ni femo low program biamle ni amebon nuchumo bejogba ni ehinya ake sani ajaje gbejanotoe kena shifimo keshidamu
Ye momlin ye resetting Ghana shishra momlin ye savannah kpokpa no ejehe moke yelikpo ake Ghana ekunze ke yang IMF bailouts ni femo amlin wose ni ke fatai ake modembo oti low-key performance indicators biane edamo inajiano jubang.
Our economy is doing much better than it has ever done in the last several decades. We have achieved macroeconomic stability, and so inflation is down. It came down to 3.2%, and recently, because of the external factors, it has risen marginally to 3.4%, but that is a sign of a resilient economy. Because in the past, as soon as there was any external shock, the inflation rate started shooting up, and then also the currency started depreciating very fast. But things look more stable. The currency is stable, interest rates have come down, and our reserve position continues to rise. Currently, we have foreign reserves to the tune of $13.9 billion as Ghana's foreign reserve position. And as the Minister of Local Government told you, it can cover 5.7 months of imports. We've come up with a new policy to build the reserves even higher, to be able to cover 15 months of imports, so that in the event of any external shock, Ghana's economy will be resilient and will not be affected. We have also come to the end of the IMF program. We inherited the IMF program from the previous government. At the time we took over from the previous government, all the agreed performance indicators were out of track. It meant that the program was in danger of derailment. And so in the first quarter, after we took over, we had to take some stringent action to bring the program back into alignment and bring it back on track. And I'm happy to report that we're able to do that. The first mission that came approved the program, the second mission approved it, and the final mission just left Ghana last week, and they have given us a satisfying mark for performance. It's now going to the board, and the board will release the last tranche of $380 million to support the Ghanaian economy. But we're not going to have a kinky party, because we believe that it is still work in progress. Unlike others who left the IMF and held wachi and kinky parties, happy to be free from the IMF, we are not doing that, because we know that our economy still needs a lot of work to be done. And so we've agreed with the IMF to replace the extended credit facility with a policy coordination instrument. It means that every 6 months, we and the IMF will sit down and look at how our reforms are going and see whether we are still maintaining the kind of discipline that we started with, or things are not going very well. And so we'll still have a program, technical assistance with the IMF, but it will not be exactly a program. And there's no bailout involved in this. And it is my hope that this is the last time that Ghana will go to the IMF for a bailout. We must be able to manage our affairs in such a way that we don't go cap in hand begging anybody to come and bail us out.
Maye nyelo John Bamani Mahama ewe ake. Emmanuel nye echon ake Ghana eje IMF nife momlin kra.
Bemini eke igbi enyo shishramo ke han resetting Ghana banagbeye iriake mash kasajin shidamo yeko emu neno hewon bahia ake hino yeli gbejano to imlimbawa ke hani chakimone se ache.
We have also come to the end of the IMF program. We inherited the IMF program from the previous government. At the time we took over from the previous government, all the agreed performance indicators were out of track. It meant that the program was in danger of derailment. And so in the first quarter, after we took over, we had to take some stringent action to bring the program back into alignment and bring it back on track. But we're not going to have a kinky party, because we believe that it is still work in progress. Unlike others who left the IMF and held wachi and kinky parties, happy to be free from the IMF, we are not doing that, because we know that our economy still needs a lot of work to be done.
Amralwe ewe ake. Nibi lo results ke ha gbemeche yamlin kwemo ni afe ya ha applicants ya ma hebu no chulo ya wolumi ni femo ni baje po wose ochi.
Mansolo liko mahibu Sajano Muntaka Mubarak Chomling ake Menfe akpe ohako meke enumo niji 105,000 Jimeni ebomodenke ha gbomochomling kwemo low medicals ye recruitment bejano toemling Yemling ake kwen may akpe enumo low 5,000 per ametao Ye momling bemlini mahien yellow John Dramani Mahama resetting Ghana mambi ke shramoya no ye savana kpukpa no mansonlo ke amralo ekemla okwe hebi ni yo akutru emle na shramo ke ha fanfe mo aya no ye recruitment gbejano to emi ewo me ashe amenibi ano hwehwehwe ke ha na agbe haramo.
Among the other wonderful things that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has done with the security was to partner the Youth Development Ministry to help 22,000 young men, 5,000 into the Ghana National Fire Service, where they will be trained over the years to support the National Fire Service, 5,000 into the Ghana Prison Service, where they will be trained to assist the prison officers, and 12,000 were also engaged in the police service. And our promise to them was that at their exit, they will be the first to be considered when we are going to have recruitment. And that's something that President Mahama is doing to help the youth and also help the security situation in our country. I must speak specifically to our region, Savannah. When President Mahama came, the National Signal Bureau, a tool that we use to be able to quietly identify troublemakers and silence them or to bring them to order, was the National Signal Bureau. He came to inherit only 3 offices, that is Greater Accra, Asante Region, and Northern Region, that's Tamale. Under his leadership, we've been able to extend these National Signal Bureau offices to Ho, that's Volta Region, to the Bunu Region, that's Sunyani, Bunu East in Tachima, and Eastern Region in Koforidua. In fact, the Savannah Regional Minister is here. They gave us a land to be able to build one here. Unfortunately, when we came to look at the land for the first instance, it was so close to the road, and the nature of what we carry, we don't need to be visibly seen. So they had to change it. It was the change in land that delayed that of the Savannah region. Now they've given us a more secure land that we are satisfied. And the assurance is that under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we are promising that by the close of this year, the National Signal Bureau office in the Savannah region in Damangu here will also be completed and commissioned. We currently have the regional office of the immigration at various stages of completion. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama took the reign of this country, and on January 7th, 2025, none of Ghana Immigration Service had not a single independent regional office. All the offices are squatting in one government office or the other. He embarked on a big mission to ensure that we provide enough space for our immigration so that they'll be able to carry out their duty very well. As we speak, he's giving us the resources, and we've started 7 regional offices, and 1 is in Damangu here for the Savannah. We are doing Tamale for Northern region. We are doing 1 in Asante region in Kumasi. We are doing Tema. We are doing Sunyani. We are doing Cape Coast, and we are doing Sekendi, Takoradi to make sure that we house our immigration officers very well.
Mansolo ke ha gbejegbe isajin ano Gavins Kwame Abuja area ake gbejegbe fe kilomita ape enyo jino ni he ni ani atuo kebolima kefata amralo infrastructure ni fi mohi.
Yere momlin ye mambi ke shwa momlin ye Savannah kpukpa no esa ebisane ke nko riemoi ni ya no ye gbejegbe fe momlin ye chuchu amralo eshishi ni fele fang ake wojini amehibiane kenoni akeshwe drambi koni ehu ebepepepe.
Your Excellency, I stand on the existing protocols to just commence straight. What did we inherit under President Mahama's new government on roads? President Mahama's government came to office when almost all road contractors were off-site. They stopped working since 2024 because of lack of payment. That is government awarded project, contractors have worked and have not been paid. And in your communities, your MPs came to us complaining about abandoned projects. What has President Mahama done differently or reset than what was seen in 2017? Since President Mahama decided to be a reset president, the first thing he did was to direct that unlike 2017, no road contract should be terminated or suspended because it was awarded by the previous government. If you remember in 2017, it was a government policy to suspend all road projects for investigation. This is different from what President Mahama did. The second thing that happens when government changed was that the new government decided that all projects awarded by the previous government, when they raise certificate, they will not be paid because President Mahama's reset means that he decided that all projects he inherited, when contractors raise certificate, they are paid. And as a matter of fact, he will go down in record as the president who came and within the first 12 months have paid in excess of 12 billion Ghana cedi to contractors he did not actually appoint. This is the reset president we are talking about. So today, we have a president who decided to be different. The third thing he did was that there was a development deficit across the country. 70% of our budget on road was spent on Greater Accra and Ashanti region and few. So when you go to some regions, Savannah and Oti region, when I first came around, almost no contractor was working when I thought before the initiation of the Big Push project, just to see for ourselves. And his point is that we should change the development paradigm to equity. So every region must feel part of the development. So please sit up and work. That is why we were here recently to say President Mahama will go down on record as the person who made the biggest intervention on our roads. Currently, over 2,000 kilometers of road are being constructed. This is not fiction. Unlike what President Akufo-Addo did in Parliament when he did one of his State of the Nation address and pretended that he built almost 18,000 kilometers of road. Truth be told, There's no record in our country that President Akufo-Addo actually even started and completed 100 kilometers of road. It doesn't exist. But President Mahama would go down in record to have done 2,000 kilometers of road. So we are home in Savannah. Your share of President Mahama's big push and other projects will not be taken away, and we want you to continue to work with us. And I want to thank all MPs in the region, Honorable Yusuf, Honorable Chiwete, and everybody for your consistent reminder and feedback on the road project in your community. And together, the regional minister, the hardworking chief executives, let's work together to make sure that Savannah gets its fair share of road projects. And we thank you very much for that. Thank you very much.
Obafu he ke oku se wakashemwe ni shwe baba hani.
Let me introduce you to Farm Global Company Limited. At Farm Global, we offer you variety of groceries and provisions to choose from. Cosmetics, perfumes, bed sheets, undies, boxes, you can mention all. This is our perfume stand, and we have variety of perfumes you can choose from for yourself and your loved ones. We cover Latapa, fragrance notes, and quality perfumes that will last long on your body. On our cosmetic section, we have variety of lotions, creams, hair pomade that can keep you going. Let your feet do the talking and your hand do the showcasing. Your babies are not left out. We got you covered. At Farm Global, we make shopping a beautiful experience for you and your family. You can be at home, send your list, and get it delivered for free. Yes, for free. We know you can pay for it, but we want to show appreciation. We bring everything to you at your doorstep. Locate Farm Global on the Nungwabuade Road, just opposite Redeemer Chemist. Call us on 0592 0999 52 or 050 384 3633. Farm Global, fast, reliable, and convenient.
Won chashe mwe ano mansolo ni po ni kasimo insaji ano Haruna Idrisu ewo akuchombi ni yo Savannah kpopa ano shi ake amralo e kan ye heshifon keba wo ni kasimo keka kesheshon ni ameba akwe ake ni ake hansinya high school etan kokoko
Ye momli ye hinabo amokushishi ye Inderura Jakpa Senior High School Bemlini Mahien Yellow John Dramani Mahama resetting Ghana Shishra Moyano Yeda Mongoe Erie Ake Je Noko ni Abanga School kuna ni behi wong ejake ajegbe atugbejano jugbang.
And then to the senior high school students here, you know that under President Mahama there is no food shortage and no school will be closed down because the GES is struggling to supply food. We have supplied through Get Fund, through the Ghana Commodity Exchange, and through buffer stock. Adequate food provision have been made till end of year for the beginning of the academic year.
Mansola se kwelo ke hani kasemo Dr. Clement Apak mincheni African B afe ekume ni ameha to enjole aba ye amenshi lemni kenye African B no tutu amo ni yo no yes
ya no da afi ye agbe na nyon biniji nyoma enyoke enumono low 25th May Kenya ye Africa Unity ku ni ache ye afi akpe kome oha ne hu nyoma ekpa ke eten low 1963 mi ni bia na echon African Union nehi echon afine gbijon yeli hie Ghana National Cadet Corps to parade ni femo higbejano ye Ghana kechose oblanta ye African Unity chose moke onupa yeli he Cadets B nije Our Lady of Mercy Senior High School ke Presbyterian Secondary School jime ni he yo ni femo ye yemo otimlie Mansolo se kwelo ke hani kasemo che Africa B titiri South Africa B ni amena mehi ake nyemime ni yeble makome ke hie ya kome ewo manga ni ameke nomo kenshi ohia hila kenile nibe keno ya nibe mu afe oti fenomo keminshi amedienche amehi.
African Union Day is a very important commemoration for all of us, especially this year, given the kinds of development that we've seen in other sister nations, particularly the xenophobia that we are witnessing in Southern Africa. I would use this opportunity to call on all of us Africans to see ourselves as brothers and sisters. We are not each other's enemies. Our common enemies are poverty, disease, illiteracy, and underdevelopment. That is what we should be fighting, not each other. So on this pre-AU Day, I want to call on all Africans and the youth of South Africa in particular to know that we are not each other's enemies. We are brothers and sisters. We have a common destiny. We share a common culture, a common heritage. And we are indeed all members of the black race from within the African continent.
Yes, Sanjin Krokuma Amliye, Mansolo ke ha gbedegbe Sanjin ano Gavins Kwame Abuja, mincheni mambi ni boligana ne ke ame awo gbedegbe no chumoy anokwemomni.
Ewo oblanta ke Ghana bi fe anga ni ameko ni chumoy ni ya no yegbedegbe ano tamo amedienche ameno na amesha infoni ke majele bona fe ni akena he ni contractors ke ni chumoy eshe ke ame modern bo hu echomling ake mambi ahi ke ni fe moy amlin woe bawo akonta abumli he wale ni no ba ha contractors se atuni ye be ni samling ye amralo egbejigbe fe mo ni big push initiative ele hu fata here.
No contractor working on any road in the country or savannah would be tolerated for doing shoddy work. I have news for you today. Interestingly, in Savannah region, on every day when you go to platform, citizens have decided to take their mobile phones and record everything that every contractor is doing. They've been sending it to President Mahama, they've been sending it to me. So if you are a contractor, you can no longer connive with my agencies to send me a very beautiful report in Accra and pretend you are working. The people know. In fact, they even tell me how many people are on your site on daily basis. There's one contractor that I cannot mention. It's a Chinese contractor. I know the number of equipment that are on site today, how many people are there, and when they came to work. And I want to thank the public for this level of vigilance. And I want to encourage all young people across the country. Do same with every road project that is in your community. Own it. Report to us. Don't wait and say that the minister will know about it. Please let us know. You are not a nuisance. Day and night, tell us what is happening on your big push project in your community. So that together, President Mahama will go down on record as the person who made the biggest intervention on our roads. Currently, over 2,000 kilometers of road are being constructed. This is not fiction. Unlike what President Akufo-Addo did in Parliament when he did one of his State of the Nation address and pretended that he built almost 18,000 kilometers of road. Truth be told, there's no record in our country that President Akufo-Addo actually even started and completed 100 kilometers of road. It doesn't exist.
Shida pledge no ake okewe be MBN Shane Adafitswaa no Nanu wakabaje shishi kegbina ye shika kedra yeli sanjam ni mansolo se kwelo ni ko shika sanjin anno Thomas Nyaku ampem ewe ake Africa shika sanjin chake mo kedaleba ye emu keji majin to amegbeja no jogba
Yeri momlin ye afine ACI World Congress shishin ye gane igbalamlin ake Africa no ya damo shika sanjin gbeja no to ni ba anye achake na abu amoy ake investment kpakpai ni ba wadale Shakimo ke hie ya ye okwa yelimlin Emanomi ake sani shika sajamlin bejano to imlin awa ke ha shika na abu amo ni iha Shakimo hu aba kebolima Mansolo se kwelo kerie moto African Development Bank ni iriake Africa chomo shika sajin na agbai amlinda afi ni efi onyomobo keje $1 billion yomai ekpa kekpa anyo keya $1 billion ohakome kekpa anyo ni manomi ake amarwepe nyen achi nekebu logbe ni kashine mahie nyelo se kwelo wolong peche na Jane opoku ajiman huche ke ha he moke yeli nimlinwa ni kase moke hie ya no ya kegbeja no toy nisa kewa Africa shikajra dale Ghana shikato he wulue lo Bank of Ghana Governor Johnson Esiamate no ni echo moden ni Central Banks lo shikato he oti ni yo Ghana ne kebolima kewo shikasajin amni hiwale.
The real question is whether our financial systems are sufficiently prepared to finance Africa's transformation at the scale and speed required. Do we have markets deep enough to mobilize long-term capital? Are our institutions strong and credible enough to sustain investor confidence? Can our policy and regulatory frameworks encourage innovation while preserving stability? And are we prepared to convert African savings into productive investments capable of driving lasting prosperity across the continent? These are the defining questions that will shape Africa's economic future, and Ghana intends to be part of that answer.
We cannot build strong economies on weak markets. Resilient markets cannot be built without trust. And trust cannot exist without competence, ethics, and robust institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, we often speak of capital markets in terms of instruments, yields, liquidity, and infrastructure. Of course, these are important. But behind every trade, policy decision, and market innovation are people making judgments.
A lot of efforts that have gone on to promote trade across the sub-region. What is lagging behind is the payments and settlements, aspects. Someone says it is cheaper, for example, to send money across the oceans than it is to send money to another countries within the sub-region. And so, yes, we have a lot of work to do to support our people. Yes, a number of initiatives are ongoing. PAPS is doing its bit. Yeah. We also have some other related innovations that are underway. When we had 3I, some of those issues came up. At the level of central banks, we are supporting the
Nanu wakabaje shishi kegbina ye manse sanjam niye wolomalo pa ke ha Prime Minister Darren Jones ewe ake bekebi ye ni bekebi hi enyoto amekabo naini amesumo ake awo amehu jasale
None ba face ni beke yo ni ena afi nyoma ke ekpa ke BBC yasanegba amlin ake kojolo na gberie moke yinto ake iha beke bi hi ayakpa bomlie feta moteni aketra ehie ketro eneno attorney general ba akwa kojomo nije kojolo Nicholas Roland mo eko ni wie gbiso no ake esumoni ikojo ogbeke bi hiyem Reform UK Treasury na wielo Robert Jenrick hu ke ena womling ne wie ake ebe asumoni achake kojomo na woka abuna toloe mon chuchu mansolo Alan Melbourne hunte ni femo no eko ni noji kleng ni kefata amralo nuchumoni amling belemo kewo oblantai ani femo amling ni abaje ni chumokpo ochine
Wakabaje shishi kegbi na ye hetero jemo sanjam nie Ghana sini jelo ni alilejoba Beverly afagloba echon ise
Ara osane na eba ya nanu gbaja no nyehogba biniji no man enyo ke edre agbe na anyo no afine kechon ihe fatalo Eugene ba na alele ake kwa master low price honi hono ye wiemo ni ekefon ananu gbaja no nye ihe fatalo susu Beverly ake ihe wale emishe keno he woni eshinle eye emu echomling ake Beverly gbele eba ni eshegbi edre ni ebashe efomogbi ni nokra ajino ni eye amewi fife kwa master te no iriake etre faishin ake no fe no ni amejishishe ebacha no ke ya nano ni ekele ni bi ni amefife ba ka he ahi etrimni ete no ni esusu fatalo ake mokmanako ni echegbile ake dum ara osanene egbesha ni eha afe no kowie mo babao ete no keboli ananu gbajano kemi ha weku kesun lo ife
Baby eni wakehye mo ba wa shi dani wo ba ya nya ha wokwa oti eku
Mayi nyelo Mahama ewu Ghana bi ake je no koni abakuse aya IMF ni femo amindon ye shikake jerayeli sajin amniye Thomas Nyako ampem ewo Africa na mewo investments ke shika sajin gbejanotoi amni hewale ni ye manse sajami hwe amani boy fele fang ake mansolo ewie ake gbekebi yi ni gbekebi hinto amekabo na sumo ake ameya akpabu ni esajale ni sake akwa kojomo mi non
Mimoni kehye mo banyegbenoji na adede keche ofefe du mo ba kwesho ne ke bi amni nyanwala don ke wopam
MBN, the Gospel News and Entertainment.